Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm here finally. I am so sorry that I'm running this late tonight. I just tried to do too much. I have my job in the Matrix, and then I had a interview scheduled for this evening with Bigfoot expert, and he is an investigator, Rick Rellis, and I just finished the interview with him, and it was, hey Trident. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get ready. And then I had to do another setup for that. And so I have some pictures printing right now. Today is May 2nd. Hooray! Second day of May. Are we about to encounter the quantum financial system? The banks are collapsing, right? I mean, in the last 24 hours, First Republic collapsed. And already with bankruptcy, we've had Silicon Valley, Crest Suisse, Signature Bank, and Silvergate. And we are headed into a new financial system. Tonight, we're going to cover topics like, it's going to be a mini show because I'm kind of tired because that went over an hour I was speaking to him. It's going to be posted, the interview with this Bigfoot expert investigator. It's going to be tomorrow. You'll see it tomorrow. I know it's going to take some time to process and upload, and so it's going to be tomorrow, and it's exciting. And tonight we're covering topics like the corrupt bloodline families. And I know we're aware of that because we've awakened. We realize that we are living in a physical reality that is consumed with possessions and money and what you have. It's not about what's inside here, which is where all the gold is, whatever's inside of you. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know I'm running late, so I guess you'll probably catch this on the replay. And we're also going to cover what's World War III. Well, I'm not really talking about like a World War III where it's combative. I'm talking about a different kind of world war, which we're in the middle of. And then I'm going to mention stillness and get onto stillness because I believe truly that that is how we kind of get our strength. That's how we get our awareness, because we become more observing of ourselves and our emotions and our feelings and what's going on out here. Like I always say, we can't control what's going on in the physical reality. We can only control ourselves. Now, let me remind you, did you have any dreams over the last couple of days? I haven't been here since Saturday, and I have to tell you, I have been receiving some lucid dreams and some downloads. Who's that? Is that Michael Jackson? Hey, how are you? LOL, it was right as if I got home from hellish work, your start time today. Really? Wow, you're working late, Trident. I don't know where, I'm trying to remember where you are. I don't have my little cheat sheet about where you're located, but my dream. So I had a lucid dream, and in the past, when I received contact from extraterrestrials, or I would have remote viewing, these lucid dreams, which is I'm awake, I'm aware that I'm having it. I saw, I think it wasn't last night because I don't remember any dreams from last night. So it was these balls of light, and it was like ball of light, ball of light, ball, and they were like turning off and on in different locations of my view. It was very fascinating. And oh, thank you. I mean, this is just so, Michael, I was just telling, and whoever's watching, I was just sharing that I have tomorrow, you'll find that I am uploading, you'll see this video with a Bigfoot expert and investigator. And he is fascinating because he's been doing this for, gosh, I don't even know. I don't remember, over 10 years. And he goes all over the country. Oh, there's something that printed out. Hold on. So this was interesting. Someone today, I'm on Twitter. I know Trident's on Twitter as well. I don't know if you are, Michael Jackson, whoever else is joining us. But this was kind of funny. Someone posted this, and it's like a bingo of the banks that are collapsing. because, and all the X's are the banks that have already collapsed. And and there we go. Now I was reading that I guess there's the 5 big banks, and the 5 big banks I believe are like J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and I don't want to call what else I think it is, but those are the banks. And then these are the banks that have already collapsed, which are First Republic in the last 24 hours, bankruptcy. They're all gone to bankruptcy. Silicon Valley, Credit Suisse, Signature Bank, and Silvergate. I've been listening to this underground patriot on Rumble. I don't know if you watch anything on Rumble. And he was talking about how he was kind of getting into, actually, well, he was, and then also XRP, someone called XRP. I'm trying to remember the beginning of the title of the show, but he also refers to all of these bank crashes. And from what I understand, basically, we put our money in the bank and then they don't hold on to it. And then they just loan it out and keep loaning it out, keep loaning it out. And we can't receive any interest because there's no money there to receive interest from. Who's that? That's trying to just return to Twitter. Oh, okay. So let's just keep an eye on that, because I believe that we are going to head into that quantum financial system, which I've mentioned before, and you can look at some of my previous videos, and there is an explanation of what's going to happen, which is that we will go into this blockchain, rainbow currency, we'll have quantum computer and phone, and we will experience Nisara Jasara, which is the debt forgiveness, so you won't have any mortgage or credit cards. And this was something that was supposed to take place, I think, in 2001, I believe, in September 2001, and it didn't happen because those that were in the elite cabal said, no, 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 oh no, we want to continue to own all of these people. And that's why we're going to get into these corrupt bloodlines. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So back to my dream, and then we'll get on to that. So I had this dream, I guess it was Sunday night. No, wait, that was Sunday night was last night, right? Or no, wait, what's today? I'm so confused. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, it was Sunday night. So it was light. And I've been getting this rush of energies. If you've awakened, and you have, I'm sure, because you're here, you've awakened to another reality, and you realized about all the corruption and all the lies, and you have an open mind and open heart. You probably are receiving ascension symptoms, and one of them is these lucid dreams and these light codes, these activation of your DNA, your own original blueprint that you have within you. And what happens with that is you start to get these kind of, how do you want to say it? Not superpowers, but kind of. For example, I went to a movie over the weekend. This is a personal story. And it was this movie called, I don't know if you've seen it, The Covenant, with Jake Gyllenhaal. And it was a war movie. So there was a lot of battling going on, and, hand-to-hand combat and fighting. And so it was kind of adrenaline pumping, which is not something I like to do. However, it was a fascinating movie. I recommend it. So I'm driving through an intersection. All of a sudden, I see in my right, out of the right side of my eye, I see this yellowish tan car coming this way. But the car's not really, it's not there. There's another car, but I see this car. I guess it was less than a minute later, I head up the road, and out from this side road, this car that I saw on the right side out of my right eye comes out and almost drives right into me. And it was almost like a premonition of what was going to happen. And if I hadn't had that premonition, I probably would not have been prepared for this car when it came out. And I stopped short and he stopped short, but he was going to drive right into me. I'm saying he, I thought it was a male, but anyway, my point is there's certain things that are going to begin to happen to you the more that you're awake and the more that you open up, the more that you are allowing and accepting all these possibilities, which are your clairsenses, like we speak about, your ability to utilize your intuitive side, your intuition within you, which is a sixth sense. You have a knowing. And then also, besides our dreams, that I want to recommend writing them down when you wake up is your thoughts are very powerful. So you can achieve whatever you want, because if you have a flash of information come into you, or an idea or possibility, that means that you are capable of creating that. That flash, that information would not have come to you because you operate on a certain frequency unless it was a possibility for you. So it comes in, let's say sometime throughout your day, you get some kind of information, and maybe it's an idea, maybe all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm going to manufacture pens. And that it's usually a flash, and it's coming from an outside source. It's a flash, or it's an idea, and you can literally take that and say, oh wow, and it's a possibility if you choose to manufacture pens. And you can squash the idea and say no, or you can literally like, maybe I should research that if it's something that resonates with you. So be aware, our thoughts are that powerful. We can change the outcome. We can change the outcome. I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm talking about literally, if we are positive about something and we feed it energy, positive energy, like when we create our ball of energy and we put it in our space, you can achieve so much and you don't even realize. Now, our intention also is vital, and our intention, a commitment to do our best. Do you have a commitment to do your best? I do. I do have a commitment to do my best. I want to do my best. Sometimes my best isn't great, but here I am. All right, so let's get on to bloodlines, because I've already been like talking for miles tonight. So this guy, does anyone know who this guy is? I'm sure you've seen him 1,000 times if you're an awakened soul like I am. And we want to be like, because who is this? Well, we're going to get into that. So these bloodlines own 99% of the wealth. The ones that I'm about to mention, 99% of the wealth of the globe. And we are, the 1% is the rest of the world. They own 99%. And just think of that. That's a lot of power for these families that I'm about to mention. And they are corrupt. They are corrupt bloodlines. Most of them, all of them, have channeled into this satanic belief system. If you want to call it some kind of, I don't want to call it a religion. I don't know what it's like it's a state of being, I guess. And here's some of them. The Ashtar family. They're from the 1720s. One of them perished on the Titanic, the Ashtar family. There's the Bundy family. Some of these I'm going to just mention by name, and others I'm going to give you some kind of significant information about them, because there's so many that I know I don't want to bore you with it, but I want to give some kind of awareness to this. And I'm going to get into who this person is, or was. The Collins family, the DuPont family. Now, it's interesting. DuPont was known back in the day. I remember when I was a kid, I did a DuPont industrial, and it was for wallpaper. And, I think I had to wallpaper, which industrial is either shown to the public or shown within the company. And it usually is a way of executing something that they have, some kind of service that they offer. So the DuPont family, the lineage back to Paris, 1700s. I'm talking about the corrupt bloodlines. and they did industrial real estate, commercial holdings connections, and they were into Freemasonry and the Bilderberg. Have you ever heard of the Bilderberg group? And they meet together, these members of the Bilderberg group, and they meet and they converse. It's usually in some kind of secret location, and they discuss what they're going to do with everything in the world. They make the decisions. The bloodlines we're speaking about this evening are the ones that make decisions for us, for everyone across the globe. It's not who you think is making decisions. That's just a cardboard cutout. We're talking about the real decision makers here. So they are part of the Freemasonry, which is a secret society as well. And usually these are carrying on, like you see some of them with these secret handshakes, and that's the mild end of it. They usually meet and they wear these robes and they have these satanic rituals. And I don't really want to talk about that much, but that, however, is the truth. And that means that they don't consider life the way I do, or maybe you do. They don't really care. It's more about whatever is on, I guess, their agenda. There's the Freeman family involved in the Priory of Soon, which I don't know what that is. They're satanics, Satanists. There's the Lee family of China real estate manufacturing. I'm sharing with you guys the corruption bloodlines. The Reynolds family, tobacco holdings, Freemason members linked to occult and Satanism. And this stuff is not to be messed with. These people, they will, what do they call, suicide you if you ever kind of got involved with any blocking of what they were up to, or if you ever spoke about it. However, right now, I sense that it's safe for me to be discussing this because they're already outed. They've been outed for a very long time. And now we get on to who this person is, from a member of the Rockefeller family. And this is John Rockefeller, extreme wealth, power, real estate, industry, political connections, training for Satanists. And this is John D. Rockefeller. And he was born July 8th, 1839, and he passed away in May 3rd of 1937. He was a business magnate. He was the richest person in history up until that time ever. It was from Standard Oil. He was the first billionaire. We don't want to give him too much attention, or any of these individuals, but we just want to bring awareness. In 1916, he was worth $1.4 billion. So in 1960, $1.4 billion is quite a large sum for this day and age in 2023. So I can only imagine in 1916. But we know, we visit every year, if you live in New York like I do, we visit the Rockefeller tree. And he was, I would say, someone who was pretty evil. He doesn't really look like a kind soul to me. And he said he was the first to set up one of the first management business designed to run a single family, single family money. And he also was the one who created, I believe, was he the one who created the Federal Reserve, John Rockefeller? I believe so. Anyone who wants to put that in the chat. And then there was David Rockefeller, and he said, some even believe we are part of a secret cabal. See, he even said it. He openly said it. He was, I guess, the grandson, David Rockefeller. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists of conspiring around the world to build more integrating political and economic stand-up one world government. And then he said, if that's the charge, I stand guilty and I am proud of it. And that's what he said. So he was admitting, now I know that these believers of the one world government have been speaking about that most recently, and we can kind of see that. And we're going to get into World War III and what exactly that is that I'm referring to. But we're experiencing this. I mean, if you're not seeing it, then you're really programmed, and you're really under mind control. And I know that that can happen because we have so much that is in front of us all the time. And it's more like we're getting distracted by the television and by news. I mean, I looked at the front page of all the news today and the newspapers because I ran into the store to get a toasted bagel. And I looked at it quickly, and it did mention the bank situation, the first republic collapse. But I know that all of it is basically I don't minimizing what's going on, and we are suffering. Things are really out of our control about the gas prices. I mean, my gas here in New York is $3.99. I don't know what it's like for you. And the grocery store, when you go to just my local grocery store, supermarket, it's unbelievable, the prices of food. And imagine going out to eat and then buying a piece of clothing or taking a vacation. The average, I guess, U.S. family, it's a tough road. You have to be making quite a bit of money. And so, hey, Bob Harding, thanks for joining us. That's right. Rockefeller is responsible for the key that instruments and funnel to literally change doctrine. Yes. And so let me just continue. So the Rothschild family, they were the sons of Mayer Amschel Rothschild, established family banks in 5 European countries. Wealth by starting wars and selling weapons to both sides, even the Rothschilds controlled making decisions that was best for their family through politicians. And these bloodlines, like I said, which possess 99% of the wealth, we don't really see them out in the open. They kind of hide it. Hey, music. Yes, from AA. Oh, I love that. That's right. And they also, that's right. Here you go. Here you guys know. The Rothschilds set up so our radio would be set at 440 rather than 432, right? No, yes, that's right, 440 rather than 432, because 432 is harmonizing with us. It's sending off the right hertz sound for us to be calming. And we're going to get into stillness tonight a little bit. And let me just finish with a couple more of these families, and we'll get into the World War III. So the Russell family founding the Bible student movement, numerous religious groups emerged, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and this was also a front for Satanism into the Illuminati. Also Skull and Bones, the Masons, and the US government. All of this is connected. All of these entities, all of these families are all here ahead of us, making decisions and setting up the dynamics of how we're going to live our life and what we're going to do. We're going to have this life. We're going to work 9 to 5. So why are they doing that? To keep us in control, to control us, to use our energy for whatever they need for them to exist, and to keep the wealth in their life. They control our food sources. They control the banking. They control basically a lot of the education, what gets put out into the school systems. Now there's the Van Drine family, connections to founding New York City, linked to the US government, wealth and power of Western Europe, and the Black Ops mind control projects. I've shared with you in the past that the US government in the 1950s had, I think it was, I don't even know, was it 20 something programs that they worked on, and they used patients from mental hospitals. They used patients that were dying of terminal cancer. They paid students and they fed them drugs, and they tortured them in many different ways to see how can they have mind control. And that's what they've done. So what they've done is they've implemented this, and that's what our mainstream media is. It's mind control. Also, this two-party government, this two-party system of Democrat and Republican, it divides. Because guess what? We're so strong if we're all on one team, aren't we? We are so strong because we have the power within us. We have the DNA. We have the gold. Now, a lot of these beings out there, I'm beginning to wonder, are they human? Are they clones? Are they wearing masks and there's someone else under there? And we know that the white hats have been doing covert operations and getting us on the right track, and I guess taking over some of these, I guess, strongholds that these bloodlines have had. And right now, I would say I'm going to share with you some of the richest families that exist right now. Those are the bloodlines. What's music saying? Tuning enables what is called tritone. Thanks for sharing your information, music. So right now in 2022, in the past year, I can share with you that the Walton family, I think they own Walmart. I want to say the Walton family, $224 billion. Ooh, ringing in my ear. I mean, I've hit gold right now that's happening. That means that I'm activating something within me. I'm advancing. Mars family, 160 billion, and the Koch family of 128 billion. And there you have it. So let's be aware. Who's that? Wow, you are, I know you. Good evening, listening on my drive home in California. Thanks for joining us. Now, are you also on, I'm going to write that down. Are you also Mick T? I think that you follow me on Instagram, right? And you always like my stories. Is that you? I appreciate it if it's you. 3845 California. And what is Marie Claire? Hi, Marie Claire. Thanks for joining us. Don't text and drive. And how are you even doing that? They All Laughed by George Gershwin is worth looking into. Okay, They All Laughed. I'm writing that down. You guys are always giving me such helpful hints. Everyone in light and living in light. Wait, living in the light. I'm Mary Amy. Did I even say that tonight? Living in the light, shifting away darkness, guiding you to your truth potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. I don't think I said that tonight because I was feeling so bad. I was running late because of my interview with Rick Rellis. Okay, so before we get on World War III, let me remind you about angels. Now, here's the 9 ranks of angels, and I know they look funky doodle. This is an illustration, a painting. It's hierarchy of angels. There's 9 ranks: the seraphim, cherubim, throne, dominions, principalities, powers, virtues, archangels, and guardian angels. So this is guardian angels. This is archangels. So this is an illustration, but I thought that to be beautiful. Hierarchy of angels. And angels are beings of light, and they come from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. And they ascend and descend on a staircase. You might have experienced a whisper in your ear from an angel, or you saw some flickering, on your peripheral vision. You saw a little flickering of light, and maybe that's an angel that's in your presence. You can invite angels into your life. They are immortal. They are non-gender. They are celestial beings. They're benevolent. They're here to protect us. They are guardians. They are messengers, and they are warriors. And you can ask for angels to come into your existence. All right, so World War III. You can see I'm just moving tonight. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'm so glad that I'm here, and I'm grateful for you. I did a video on Saturday because I wanted to pop in and just say hi. And I'm not really telling you when I'm scheduling because I don't want to be disappointing. I'm just going to post it the night before that day and tell you when I'm going to come on. So thanks everyone. And I'm going to remind you that you're a beautiful being of light. You're worthy. And you are cherished. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you have, and it doesn't matter what you do. You're a beautiful being of light, and you're a worthy being. You're highly dimensional, you're multidimensional, and you have so much power within you. You have the ability to change the world. Your thoughts can, your actions, your words can, your energy can. Now, we all carry a frequency. So like attracts like. So here I am, which means that you, whoever's here joining us, has the same frequency. We're carrying on. We are communicating, whether it's telepathically, but our energy is crossing over or connecting. And I'm so grateful that you're here. You guys are funny, right? Everyone write in the chat and tell me where you're coming from. So World War III, what is that? Well, they're saying, oh, we're in World War III right now with Ukraine and all of this. And I spoke about Ukraine, I guess it was in the last week. And it seemed as though some of which was coming out of there was basically, is it our war or is it Ukraine and Russia? Is it us fighting Russia over there? Because they seem so invested. They keep sending all of this money. They keep printing the money and sending it off and printing the money. Meanwhile, how much is going on? How many people in the US of A are like starving or in poverty? And how many children need new shoes and a knapsack or something? I mean, it seems ridiculous to me, and I don't even believe it because I believe wholeheartedly that there's shenanigans and corruption going on there, like money laundering and biolabs. And we've spoken about the white hats going in and collapsing those, I guess, those biolabs and going into the DUMS tunnels and taking out the children. So World War III, we are right now in World War III, and we really truly are, because maybe you can't see it with, I guess, a nuclear explosion or hand-to-hand combat or battling. There is a definite war going on between good and evil right here. It's not the heavy artillery or nuclear bombs. It's a war within our country of good versus evil. And it is even probably across the globe. And I guess the source of that is these corrupt bloodline families and these secret societies and these, I don't know what they are, because I don't believe that humans would really want to hurt other humans this way. Are they of human? Are they organic, natural beings? Are they something else? Are they I don't know, some kind of other thing that's bred? Were they breeding with reptilians or some other extraterrestrial from off planet? I don't know, because I don't believe that humans are really going to slaughter other humans and sacrifice other humans. So there's something right there that doesn't sit well with me. The white hats, the military versus the deep state. That's what we're in right now. We are in right now. When I say the deep state extends to a lot of different locations. I mean, these companies, these huge corporations that are producing our food, I believe a lot of them are involved in the deep state, because you cannot reach this tippy top of any industry unless you're involved with the deep state, because they have been running things for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And it's the secret government, it's the elite cabal, and there is right now we are on the brink of a lot of change, and I've spoken about it. And I said, here over here is the matrix, the simulation, the linear world, the 3D, all of the junk that we've been living in, all the systems of the medical, the pharma, the education, the history, the government, all of that, the banking system. And now we're in this transition, and this transition feels like partly a relief. And when is it going to be over? Because then we're going to head over here into the new earth, the new world, a civilization that we can only hope for, that we can imagine. It's going to be like fairy-like and beautiful, and it's going to be peace on earth, and we're going to come out of our homes and hug and love one another. We're right now in the middle of all this muck, this mud, this grime, this dirty, dirty business. And it's being uncovered, and it's disgusting. This disclosure that's happening, and we're going to get more and more of it. And if you get on some of these social media platforms, you can't really see it so much on Facebook because there's so much of that censorship. And we know that Facebook, we know that Instagram, we know that Twitter, they were all arms of the government, all these 3-letter branches of the government that were controlling us and keeping us, basically continuing us to have this mind control and this brainwashing. Facebook, you can't really put too much up there because it's censored. And then Instagram, yes, sorry. But the Twitter's kind of gotten away with it a bit since Elon Musk came in, because I think Elon Musk is being utilized by the white hats, because otherwise, how could he be changing his story? He was more for a while into the brain chips. Now it seems as though he's either another Elon Musk or he's redeemed himself. I'm not quite sure. But what we're about to see in this transition, we're in the middle right now, and I sense we've hit 75% through it. That's what I feel. As an intuitive, I would say we're 75% through it. So we have 25% left to go. Now, I don't know how long the 25% is going to take, but we are going to have the collapse of the banking system 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. And that's why I was sharing with you earlier, here's this, like, someone had this on Twitter, and here's all the banks that have already collapsed, and this is what's left to go. Now, I've heard that when the banking system collapses, we're going to head into this new quantum financial system, and we're going to go to redemption centers, and our money's going to be changed over, and they're going to give back to the Americans, to the people, what is theirs, what was taken from them. And then these banks are going to turn into wealth management centers. Now, if the 5 big banks collapse, which I need to look that up and DuckDuckGo it. I know Wells Fargo is one of them. I know Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan's one of them. I don't know who the other 3 are considered. Is it Bank of America? I don't know if Citigroup is. But my point is, when those 5 collapse, we have these that have already collapsed. That's it. It hits 0. Then there's no more money. There's no more money. And I don't know where they're going to get the money. They're holding it up right now. So the banking system's going to collapse. We've been living with big pharma, the medical tyranny. That's going to collapse, and that's coming out. There's all these whistleblowers. If you want to look out there, you can find what's really what's being said. You can see it. Just asking, you shall receive. Might have to watch again. Watch Jacob's Ladder. Well, thank you so much, Trident. God bless you too. Now, we've been seeing these bizarro clown shows and this really creepy, icky stuff coming from some of the teachers, some of this transgender, some of this drag queen stuff to the children, because they're trying to control our children and take our children, and that's what's happening. And that's been happening, and they're trying to pass through our government some new, I guess you could say, some new laws, concepts, whatever you want to call it. to allow them to take our children. And they're not going to take our children. We're not going to let them. I'm not going to let them take the children. I don't know about you, but I'm not. And I know that I am a very strong being. And there's many, many, I guess you could call patriots. You could say awakened. You could say star seeds, light workers, Americans who will protect what we consider the American way. And the American way is not all of this stuff that we are realizing right now. So there's a lot of corruption within the corporations, with the food, with the brands. A lot of them were all connected, and the banks as well. They were laundering money. The executives and the CEOs were giving themselves big bonuses. There's also a lot of corruption in the schools, the educators. Now we know that the Vatican, I don't think that Pope there is a good guy. I don't know. I think he's also a member of these secret societies. And then the English royalty. We know the Queen. Was that really the Queen, or was that a shape-shifting reptilian? I don't know if you're thinking, woof, she went off the deep end. But if you've awakened, you're realizing that all of this is possible. I mean, because, the transgender thing. And that's a way of confusing us, or not us. It doesn't confuse me. The he, she, thee way. There's only a man and there's only a woman. And that's all there is. And everything else is not a man or a woman. You're either a man or you're a woman. And you're born that way. So we've been ambushed, we've been cheated, we've been lied to, and we've been divided. So let's come together. Let's realize, I'm getting pain in my head. Let's realize that we should love one another. And where does that start? As I always say, it starts with ourselves. You can find the love in your heart. You want to tune inward. And maybe you want to do that right now and just check your heart. And just, I'll be quiet for a second. And I want you to check your heart and say, how are you feeling? How do I feel right now? We're talking about emotions. We're not talking about if you're tired or you're energetic. We're talking about your emotions. And it's good to tune into this, because the more that you realize about yourself, then the more you're going to be able to tune inward out here in the physical reality. And you're going to be aware enough to avoid danger and harm that comes to you. You'll have a premonition. So I'm going to be quiet. And I want you to tune into your heart and ask your heart. Maybe you need to let out a breath to really relax, like we do during psychic phenomenon exercise. And you're going to tune into your heart. You're going to say, how are you feeling? And usually you get like a one-word answer, and I have the answer come through, and it's probably part of me that's answering, saying, so I feel content. I feel well. I'm good right now. I'm relieved. So we have been ambushed, and we've been divided, and we've been told to basically spend as much time on the television, watch the television. And that is because they want to keep us just like watching and hypnotized and then waiting for the next thing, and keep that adrenaline pumping. And we should wake up. We want to turn off, and we're going to get into stillness in a few minutes. We want to turn off all our electronics. We want to turn off our televisions. We want to turn off our computers. We want to turn off our phones, because if we don't, are we really living in the moment? Think about that. Because every single bit of these electronics are spewing frequencies, spewing some kind of energy, some kind of vibration, something at us. And so are we really being ourselves, and do we really know what ourselves are like? And it's a way when we turn everything off. And it shouldn't just be when we go to sleep. And by the way, don't have the phone right next to your bed. You should have the phone outside of your bedroom, because we don't know what even that's doing to us. So we want to find some time, a few moments in the day, even if it's 5 minutes, where you turn everything off and you just sit quietly by yourself. Maybe you find it's better to go walk in nature if you have a beautiful day, or even if it's not a beautiful day, just so you can experience and have a moment, a time that you're living in the moment. You're just in the moment and you're just quiet and you're receiving whatever you're supposed to receive. And those are times that we might get like an epiphany or a premonition, or we are fully aware. All of our senses are experiencing everything. So we want to stay off of all of our electronics here and there as much as we can, just so that we wake up and then we find that we can live in happiness and we can live in serenity without that. Because in the future, we are not going to have those. So we're going to have to learn to live without that stuff. Right, Bob Harding? Each loving breath has been vibrationally prepared for the conscious inhale. Yes. Thank you for saying that. That's nice. So evil has played its last hand, and we are together. We are realizing that we are so powerful. So how do we want to accomplish, I guess, this, how do we want to accomplish this task, which is to bring on the new earth? And how do we want to get through the last 25% of this transition before? How do we want to do that? Well, we want to, so this is the only thing we can control. So it starts with us, and we are that powerful. So you want to do things like work your imagination. Maybe you want to be creative. Maybe you want to get some paper and pens or paints. Maybe you want to start using your hands creatively. Maybe you want to write and journal. You might want to try something new that you've never done, maybe an activity. I don't know, anything from roller skating to sailing a boat to designing something that's going to bring new energy. Because when you create something, like I just said, any of the things, you are actually starting from nothing and you're building. And every time we do that in this physical reality, we're creating positive energy. Now, evil has been playing with us our whole lives. So Hollywood seemed glamorous, exciting. It gave us false idols. And we must make no mistake that this is all a show out here. What we're seeing out here, and maybe it's on the television, maybe sometimes it's in the communities by the leaders. Make no mistake, this is a show, and it's designed to keep us distracted from what's really going on. It's also a way to control us. Now, if you were someone that was in any of the connected secret societies and you didn't follow what they said, you were probably suicide or executed or disappeared. And we can see some of those that just died unexpectedly, and they allegedly died from a drug overdose, a car crash, a this, a that. And they were maybe uncovering something that they shouldn't have. So here we are in love and light now. We're embarking. We're going to hit this. We're going to hit the new earth. We are in the great awakening, and we are changing the course of history. You and I are changing the course of history. How? Because we are being positive. We are working on our clear senses, our telepathy. We are creating. We are realizing that we are beautiful beings of light. And so evil has no chance of winning. And every day, the more we see the truth and the more that we accept ourselves in this moment, the more of a chance that we have of reaching our destiny. So let me remind you about your destiny. Imagine right now. Now, I've spoken to you and I've said to you, what are your 5 humongous goals? What are your 5 humongous goals? Write them down. Write down your 5 humongous goals. Maybe you want to climb the highest mountain. Maybe you want to start a new business. Maybe you're like, I really need a love in my life. I need a relationship. Whatever it may be, There's 5 humongous goals that you have, and you're going to check all these goals off. And you take one of those goals, and I want you to imagine that it's right here in front of you, and you're holding it in your hands, this goal. Maybe you close your eyes. It's right in front of you. So just choose one of your 5 humongous goals. So let's say you want to climb the highest mountain. What are you going to do? You're going to imagine in this moment, you're going to say, here I am in this moment. Where am I? Well, right here in New York, it's 9:33. Oh my goodness. And in this moment, I'm going to see myself climbing the highest mountain. And I'm going to see, what does the mountain look like? What am I wearing? Everything I can visually imagine. And then I'm going to say, what does it feel like to climb the highest mountain? Is it bringing joy to me? Well, then I can do it. Then I'm able to manifest it. And how do I feel? How do all my senses feel? And that's how you're going to create it in this moment. And what's going to happen? It's going to start to bring synchronicity, and something is going to come to you, maybe information. Maybe someone's going to say, hey, by the way, I was thinking about taking this trip. And you'll say, what? How is this possible? And no one's going to believe it, but you'll know that you've hit synchronicity. And that's a sign, that's validation that you can climb the highest mountain because you created it. You saw it, you felt it, and then you're going to do it. Okay? So everyone, hey, music, what are you writing? You have the choice to play any game you like. You guys are awesome. All right, so I am going to mention stillness, and then I have to go because it's super late. So stillness, what is stillness? Stillness is where you're making space within you. You're finding a way to be as calm as calm and quiet as possible that you can imagine within your system. And you're having so much stillness. When you have stillness, you sense everything. You sense everything that's going on within your body, your organs, your feelings, so all of your energies. And then when you kind of cover that, so you close your eyes. Here, we'll do it right now together. So you're closing your eyes, you're dropping your arms down, you're relaxing. You're taking a breath. Maybe you need to let out. And it's basically a long pause, stillness. So you are trying to be in a moment, or you are being in a moment where everything is standing still. And when it's standing still, you're able to be an observer. And when you're an observer, you're going to realize things that you didn't before, which might be a memory will come forward. You might hear something in your physical reality that you didn't realize was there. You might start to hear things, and your clairaudience comes online. Maybe you'll start to realize some kind of activation for your clairvoyance, or maybe your clairsustenance. So we're going to close our eyes right now. We're going to try. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So we're quiet, and we're just going to it's like you're basically elongating your time. You're elongating, so you're imagining that the moment is really, really like, here we are in the moment, and we're elongating the moment. So I'm going to be quiet. We're going to do it for a second together. And we're going to just be very quiet, and we're going to see if anything comes forward. So you're calming everything. You're calming your heart, you're calming your spirit, and you're just being still. Okay, so when you do this stillness, You try it, maybe you try it for doing it for a minute. Then you try a little bit longer each time. So when I did that, all of a sudden, this is so strange. What I received is someone throwing a football. So that was like clearly, without even a suggestion, it was another psychic phenomenon. I was receiving information from another source. So I not only heard, but I saw the football, like catch the football, here's the football, and I saw the football. Now, I don't know why. I don't know where that was coming from. It's interesting, right? I don't know if you received anything. And stillness is the state of being still. It's stillness is really describing what it is, isn't it? You're just being still. All right, so tonight we covered, it was a short show because, well, not that short, but it was a pretty short show because I did have that interview, which is going to be posted tomorrow with the Bigfoot investigator and expert. And tonight we covered on May 2nd, Living in the Light, corrupt bloodline families. And I went through that. And we spoke about a little bit about the bank collapse and World War III. And I'm wishing everyone to have a wonderful evening. Hey, Bob Harding. I saw a purple coat with gold buttons. Interesting. And you have some experiences, Bob Harding, you really do. And I'm not going to say I'm going to be back tomorrow because I'm not sure. I mean, obviously I'll be back 2 more times this week. And I'm wishing everyone well and have a wonderful evening. And I'm spinning light and you're in the center of it and you're making a wish. And like, I'm going to make a wish too. I'm making a wish. And you're in the center of it and I'm spinning light, white light. And I'm spinning it now counterclockwise. And you're in the center of it and you're making a wish. I want good things for you and I'm sending you the light. And everyone have a wonderful night. And I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And this was, I guess, 162 video that I've done for Living in the Light. Okay, everyone, I'll be back soon. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.